boy, you had a fascinating interview yesterday with Ann Romney.
Nothing was out of bounds. I could ask her anything, and she was so incredibly gracious. And her husband, Republican challenger, of course, Mitt Romney, has a slight edge this morning over President Obama, according to the latest New York Times CBS poll. And it's being driven by fears about the country's economy. I spoke exclusively with Ann Romney about what her husband's planning. It's your voice, your vote. And I started by asking her how close her husband is to picking a running mate.
We're not quite there yet, and we're going to be there soon. There's so many good choices, and I think that's making it especially difficult.
You have said that you wanted to be somebody that your husband, they match in personality. No one knows your husband better than you. So who is that type of person?
Well, you know, I think in saying that, I was thinking of also passion for this country, being able to serve, being able to have experience, real experience, being able to be ready day one.
Everyone wants to stay on message. You do, the Obama administration and the American people, and there seem to be so many different distractions, one being your husband and the tax returns. Both Bushes gave multiple years, 10 and 12 years. President Obama gave 7 years of tax returns. Your husband has been adamant about only the 2 years that will be released. Why will he not follow the example of others on both sides of the aisle?
You know, I think there's reason for all of these things. You know, you should really look at where Mitt has led his life and where he's been financially. He's a very generous person. We give 10% of our income to our church every year. Do you think that is the kind of person that is trying to hide things or do things? No. He is so good about it. Then when he was governor of Massachusetts, didn't take a salary in the 4 years. You know, he is a person.
Why not show that then? Why not?
Well,
why not
you know,
because then it's a moot point, and then
because
people
there
can move
are
on.
so many things that will be open again for more attack, and you just want to give more material for more attack, and that's just the answer. And we've given all people need to know and understand about our financial situation and about how we live our life, and so that election again will not be decided on that. They will be decided on who is going to turn the economy around and how our jobs are going to come back to America.
Then there's the controversy over whether Mitt Romney outsourced jobs while running Bain Capital.
As a corporate raider, he shipped jobs to China and Mexico.
Independent fact checkers criticized this Obama ad, saying Romney had already left the company. But an Obama campaign aide suggested Romney may have lied about when he left and committed a felony, prompting this response from Romney.
He sure as heck ought to say he's sorry for the kinds of attacks that are coming from his team.
And this from the president.
No, we won't be apologizing.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not surprised. I believe it was beneath the dignity of the office of the president to do something as egregious as that. To attack someone on that level is, I believe, beneath his dignity.
Away from the campaign trail, Ann Romney has been waging another battle against multiple sclerosis since her diagnosis 14 years ago. Have you had a discussion with your husband, if he is elected, how that could affect, if it does flare up, his presidency?
You know, that was a part of the discussion when we decided whether to go forward again, because we certainly would not have gone forward if I'd been in an active part of my disease, because it would have been something that I would have needed my husband to be there with me. But the thing that you can't ever know about life is what tomorrow will bring, and so you just step forward and just go on. And so for us right now, I really believe that he's the right person at the right time. He has a clear understanding of how to create jobs. There's so many Americans suffering right now that are out of work. And I really, really believe in my heart that he's the right person at the right time to bring hope and recovery to this country.
Part of Romney's MS therapy is to ride horses. It's a high-end sport that's made her and her husband a target for critics, like in this new ad by Democrats. How do you respond to something like that?
Honestly, do you know how I really feel? I want to laugh. It makes me laugh. It's like, really, you know, there's so many people out of work right now. And there's this guy right here that has the answers for fixing the economy. And all these attacks, they're going to try everything. And that is what people are going to have to ask themselves when they go in the voting booth in November. Are you better off now? Do you really think the future is going to be brighter on the path we're on? Or do you think we need a change? Basically, my philosophy is they're going to fire the coach. I already sort of know the answer. At the end of the day, they're going to fire the coach because things are not going well. And
the coach being President Obama?
Right.
And I know that Mrs. Romney said she laughed off that ad with the dressage horse. Well, the DNC has pulled that ad, so they didn't mean to offend her, but they're not going to use that anymore.
Yeah, they pulled it overnight. Boy, that first answer she gave you, so interesting. We haven't made a decision yet on vice president.
They are a team, and she's going to talk a lot more in our next hour about her battle with MS, which is so moving, and why there's a certain period in her life she ripped up the pictures. She doesn't remember that time. So we'll talk about that at 8 o'clock.